So Fairbourne is a coastal community in North Wales, in Gwynedd, around 700 people, and it has been selected by Gwynedd County Council for decommissioning, which means that they're going to relocate the population. The rationale for this is mostly due to climate change, so we're going to see an increased frequency and a higher intensity of storm events, and this coastal community is not sustainable with its coastal defences. So, similar to New Orleans in America, Fairbourne is positioned in a basin. It has a hillside to its back and it has a seawall to the front. It straddles a river called the Avon Madowich, and this means that when water gets in, it stays in. This makes it especially susceptible to, if the seawall fails, you're going to have extreme flooding from one end of the settlement to the other, and that would negatively affect the population because it'd be really difficult to reclaim the property and possessions. What we're going to see are more frequent but also higher intensity events, and that is more significant. So the seawall was designed for a 1 in 200 year event. However, what we're going to see is by 2050, a 1 in 200 year event, the same magnitude, will then be a 1 in 10 or even 1 in 5 year event due to climate change. So Gwynedd County Council, who are the local lead flood authority, they've got 4 options. Their first option is advance the line. Their second which is where they take the existing coastal defences and move them forward to try and reclaim more land. The second option is hold the line, which is their current policy, where they have a seawall, they have beach replenishment in place, they've got rock armour at Fergus Corner, and that has recently been increased by the county council. Their third option is retreat the line, where they will slowly move settlements and properties back from the current position. And the fourth policy is no active intervention. Now, in the latest Shoreline Management Plan, SNP2, for West of Wales, there was a change in policy from hold the line to a managed retreat, and eventually, after around 2054, there will be no active intervention. So in literature published by Gwynedd County Council and the resident group that's been set up called Fairbourne Moving Forward, the term that they're using is decommissioning the settlement, where they're going to evacuate the population, they're going to demolish the settlement, and then rehouse the population elsewhere. However, there aren't currently any plans for when this is going to happen, how it's going to happen, or where the relocated population are going to move to. So Gwynedd County Council have done a cost-benefit analysis on defending Fairbourne, and they have determined that it's not viable. This is because increasing the seawall in height, which would help prevent against larger storms, would have the drawback that if it were to fail, because you have the basin like New Orleans, you would have a much higher risk to life. The second issue is that economically, the replenishment of the beach is costing millions over the decades, whereas long term, by moving from mitigation strategies to adaptation, by relocating the population, you will be saving money. Now, outside of the cost-benefit analysis, there will be some political cost, both to the council and to central government over in the Senate. However, of the people that are actually going to be affected, a simulation of population showed that only 38 to 43% of people who are currently living in Fairbourne will actually be affected by these plans and will have to relocate. For this research, I used a mixed methods approach with 3 main strands. The first was a literature review to get context. The second was interviews with key stakeholders in decision-making processes and academics. And the third was I completed a simulation of population using a Markov chain Monte Carlo simulation. Taken in isolation, it would be very easy to just relocate Fairbourne. However, you've got 40 to 50 communities in North Wales alone who are at risk from climate change. So it is clear that this transition from mitigation to adaptation, even though it may be painful temporarily, is a long-term sustainable solution. The second conclusion that I derived was that the Fairborn question of what do you do when decommissioning a coastal settlement will massively impact policy going forward, not just in the UK, but also worldwide.